one promises not to be a reach, so you'll want to catch all the action. We will also show you the ones that find the back of the net. Make sure you don't collide into each other running for your favorite spot. So just flip us on and celebrate the Cardinal wins. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We're actually getting a lot of action in.
We are, and we didn't get as many cameras out to as many events as we did last week, certainly. So we're going to try and move through things pretty quickly here this week, give you a double dose in that 1.5 hour time slot. Start with baseball. They had 3 games since last we sat on this desk. It started with a game against the Armstrong Falcons. They lose to the Falcons 5-3. Brandon Strauss took the loss in 4 2/3, but notice 5 runs allowed, only 2 of those earned. Ryan Garlick had a couple of hits for the Cardinals. Logan Rothstein 1 for 2, walk, a stolen base, and a run. Well, the Cardinals ended last week with a Friday night game against the Andover Huskies under the lights at Wintercrest. It was youth night, and the Cardinals were looking to put on a good show. Unfortunately, the weather factored in, and the Cardinals came up short in a wet, sloppy, but well-pitched contest against the Huskies. Rain started in the first, no score until the third man at second, 2 out. Jake Whelan airmails the throw from third. Matt Brodeur will score, and Parker Hines will move over to second easily. 1-0 Andover. Next batter is Carson Waddell. He grounds it to short. Plenty of time for Xander Parr, but he loses his grip, sends it way over Anderson's head at first. Again, Hines will score. Huskies have 2-0 lead on back-to-back 2-out errors. Braden Farley able to battle through. He had 8 strikeouts in the game, 3 in each of the third and fourth innings. Gave up just 2 hits and no earned runs in 6 2/3. Bottom 6, Cardinals finally able to get on the board. Runner at third with nobody out. Braden Farley pops up in foul territory. Wide at first. Waddell able to track it down, but makes pretty good throw. But the Cardinals get Peary home on the sacrifice. Andover gets one back in the bottom half on the pass ball. Cardinals are able to score 1 more in the home half of the 7th. The sac fly gets Ian Wynn to the plate, but that's as close as the Cardinals would get. They lose this one 3-2, and it was wet. It was very
miserable.
Very
damp. It was for many reasons.
It was not warm.
No.
But both pitchers threw really, really well. Unfortunately, the Cardinals make a couple mistakes, and Andover capitalized every time.
Well, and that's what cost him. And we saw Farley pitch the outing before that when we covered a game, and he pitched really well in that outing as well. So he's had a couple of nice outings, and I feel kind of bad for him because he pitched well enough to get the win. Unfortunately,
when you saw
didn't get the support.
They gave up the unearned runs against Armstrong as well.
Yep.
Definitely something they need to work on. This week started with a win over Spring Lake Park on the road. Sophomore Jack Blassity got his first varsity start. He picks up the W, going 6 innings. A 2-run home run for Ryan Garlick in the first inning got the Cardinals the spark they needed to get on to the victory. They've got a couple more. They're at Anoka on Tuesday under the lights. And Howie?
We'll be there.
And then they host Champlin on Thursday. Softball team taking on Matamidi. I had a couple of non-conference games with last week's schedule. On Wednesday, they traveled to Matamidi. They beat the Zephyrs 9-2. Jaden Gale, 3 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Sam Lom and Cameron Schmelzer also multiple hit days. Sam Lom got the win on the mound, going the distance with 7 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 6 strikeouts.
Nice to put 9 runs on the board.
Always.
Well, the Cardinals knew they had a good chance to score another win on Thursday when they traveled to Andover. The Huskies have really struggled to start the season with just 1 win in their first 6 games. The Cardinals were looking to stay hot at the plate and keep their momentum moving forward. Can't get a better start than this. First batter of the ballgame, Abby Graham adds to her school record for hits. This one over the fielder in right for extra bases. Graham slides in easily at third for a leadoff triple. Nice way to lead that game up. Well, Huskies almost able to strand her there. 2 outs and a pop-up for Meg Scheck just behind second base. Kaylin Zaski gets there but can't squeeze it. Graham will score on the error, and the Cardinals are on the board in the first. We're going to move same score. We're going to move until that fifth. Scheck with 2 outs. Drills 1 to left. 1 hops the fence. Graham scores easily, and the speedy Sam Lom will score all the way from first with no throw, and it's 3-0 lead for the Cardinals on Scheck's 2-run double. Next batter is Evan Hewland. She sends a high fly ball to left center. Sophie Schultz with a long run. Gets a glove on it, but it drops to the turf. Cardinals capitalize on another Andover error as Scheck scores to make it 4-0. The Huskies down but not out. They're going to get one back in the fifth. A 2-out single by Morgan Strombeck will get Corrine Olsen home with Andover's first run. They got one more in the sixth, both unearned. No earned runs on either side of the game. Elia Johnson started and got the win. Sam Lom closed it with a good 2 1/3 innings for the Cardinals, and they're going to hold on for the 4-2 win.
Yeah, they need to win them any way they can. Now we're into the meat of the schedule, looking down the home stretch here over the next couple of weeks. Another tough non-conference opponent for the Cardinals on Friday, and East Ridge shot them with the lightning bolt 11-2 the final. In that one, Evan Hewland had both RBI, 2 for 3 at the plate. For her, Abby Graham keeps her hitting streak alive. But the Cardinals come up well short. And then on Monday, starting the week against Elk River, they lose to the Elks 9-1, dropping their record to 4-7. Cardinals at Anoka on Tuesday, at Armstrong on Wednesday. Couple on the road against tough conference opponents, and they need things to go right.
Well, yeah, and tough to give up 20 runs total in 2 games, and that's something I'm sure that concerns Coach Nienaber as he's going into the next couple of games.
Tennis team, a couple of matches and a tournament last week started against Maple Grove on Thursday. The Rebels beating the Cardinals 5-2. The wins coming from Speltz and Hewitt at first doubles and Vuenstein at second doubles. Good things happen when you put those two together,
yes.
I tell you.
I'll tell you.
Hosting a tournament on Saturday, the Cardinals get 1 of 3. They lose to Forest Lake and North Branch, but beat St. Paul Central 4-2. Some of the winners there, Johnson and Tara Beza, 6-1, 6-0 in the Forest Lake match. Derek Avery winning 6-0, 6-0 against North Branch. Speltz and Hewitt getting a straight sets victory against St. Paul Central. They actually had an event today. They had a tri-meet with Fridley and Totino Grace. Didn't get those results for you. Will have those for you next week on Sportsnight. They host Spring Lake Park on Tuesday, and then have a Northwest Suburban Conference tournament match on Wednesday. On track and field, boys and girls teams at the Blaine Invitational last Thursday. Both teams finished in third. Some of your top finishers for the boys. First place finishes in both hurdles events for Spencer Hoyam. The relay teams all the way across the board were very strong. 4x2 took first place. 4x8 was second place. Jordan Nolan second place in the discus with a distance of 155 and 2 inches. Abdisa Koji third place in both the 400-meter dash and the long jump. And Marks was third in the pole vault. For the girls, shot put champion Rachel Dieters with a distance of 34 feet. Adamola Green finished second place in... Oh, I didn't put the event in there. And that's second place in the shot put. She was right behind her. Killian was first place in the triple jump and second place in the long jump. Grace Henneman was second place in the 100-meter hurdles. Abby Russ second place in the 300-meter hurdles. And a third place finish for Sarah Eichstead in the 1-mile run. 5 minutes, 44.12 seconds. For those teams, they have the big event coming up this week at Elk River for the Section 5 AA True Team event.
Real big event.
They've got a tri-meet with Armstrong and Blaine next week, but obviously True Team, a big event every year.
Huge.
Boys golf team has not played since last time we did Sports Night. They're at Refuge with the Northwest Suburban Conference teams on Tuesday of this week. Next week, they will play at Victory Links. Girls golf team had one head-to-head match end of last week on Thursday, taking on the Blaine Bengals, and shooting decently, but not well enough to keep pace with the red-hot Bengals. Annabeth Callow had the best round for the Cardinals with a 52. 3 teammates with 55, though, including freshman Kate Garbo, Goldman, and Whitney, also putting a double nickel on the board. Caitlin Noe finished with a 58, and Wilson finished with a 59. Girls competing in the mid-season Northwest Suburban Conference tournament today, not able to get those scores in time for this week's show. We'll have them next week. They are at Elk River on Wednesday, and they host Anoka next Tuesday. Boys lacrosse team played very tough against Spring Lake Park to start last week, and then played a much tougher Centennial team and came up way short against Cougars, losing 23-3, dropping their record to 0-5. There you see the goals from A.J. Carls, Ethan Hansen, and Harry Koval, the assists from Tommy Carls and Brock Jameson. Cardinals were back on the field on Friday night hosting the Andover Huskies. Andover not quite as tough as Centennial, but certainly not a team that can be taken lightly. Huskies came in at 3-2 and coming off their most dominant victory of the season, a 16-2 blowout over Spring Lake Park. Cardinals knew they'd have to contain the Andover offense and match it with offense of their own. Able to do that early on, Tommy Carls finding Ethan Hansen out front. Hansen scores, and it's tied at 1 in the first. Huskies able to retake the lead before the first break. They get it to Parker Blake, and he's able to get around the defender in close. His goal made it 2-1 Andover after the first. Early in the second, Cardinals down by 2. Another nice feed from Tommy Carls, this time finding Caden Anderson sneaking in at the back post. He scores, keeps it close. He had a goal and an assist in the game. But Andover pretty much caught fire after that, keeping the pressure deep in the Cardinals' end. Reed Steinhagen able to circle around front and score on the jump shot, 5-2 at that point. And the Huskies just relentless throughout the second, keeping possession and continuing to pound away. Holden Dunleavy's goal made it 8-2 Andover. They were up 7 at the half and dominated the second on their way to a 16-2 victory.
You know, the boys team, obviously there's some growing situations there, but they've got to be a little bit concerned about it. A, they're giving up a lot of goals, and B, they're not scoring much, and that's something that I think that has to concern them a little bit. It's tough no matter what you do in this conference, night in and night out, but I'm sure they'd like to be able to score a few more goals than they have been
and keep
scoring.
Possession, and we talked about that when we do the games. It's so if one team is very good and very fast, hard to get possession back, and you have to take advantage when you do. Cardinals host Totino on Monday night. They're at Armstrong on Wednesday night.
Well, after opening the schedule with 3 straight losses, the girls lacrosse team knew they had an opportunity to get it turned around last week. On Wednesday night, they welcomed the Irondale Knights to the Cardinal Stadium. The Knights were also winless, but they'd already played 6 games, and they're averaging a little less than 5 goals a game. They're a perfect opponent for the Cardinals to get some momentum. A lot of scoring early in this one. Naomi Griffith with a long run down the left side, then slips the defenders out front, scores 5-4 Coon Rapids, only about 6 minutes in. It stayed close early on with the teams trading goals. Mackenzie Molenkamp with some room to attack. She goes right by one defender between 2 others, scores one of her 4 goals in the game. She had Rowan Tom had 6 points each. Cardinals starting to stretch the lead before the end of the first. Ava Johnston dumping one just over the keeper's shoulder that made it 9-5 Coon Rapids. They weren't quite done in the first. Good movement to find Emma Boland alone in front. She turns and scores. Cardinals fly up by 12-8 at the break. Irondale gets the first goal of the second half to keep it close. Good individual effort by Catherine Gunderman, working for the goal out front. That cut the lead to 3. But that was the last night's goal of the night. Grace Hanula at the other end, weaving through some traffic to find the shooting lane. She has 3 goals and assists as the Cardinals scored their first win of the year. A 15-9 win was the final. Nice to get that first win, no doubt.
Yeah, and it was even better for the Cardinals to follow it with win number 2. 17 goals they put up against Duluth on Friday night, winning 17-12. Look at the numbers for Rowan Tom. 9 goals and an assist, a 10-point night. Pretty impressive. Molenkamp and Hanula not far behind with a hat trick and a helper each. And Emma Boland finished with 2 goals and 2 assists. They bumped their record to 2-3. They host Totino on Monday and host Armstrong on Wednesday. So a little bit of home cooking this week.
Need some.
An opportunity to see if they can keep that that winning streak and extend it. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.